If you need some TLC for your back at the end of the day, then this simple yin yoga routine has you covered. In under half an hour, you'll gently stretch out your back as you unwind and quiet your mind. No props are needed, so get yourself comfortable and then we'll begin. We'll begin today with folded butterfly pose. So you can sit on your yoga mat with your feet in front of you and then bring the soles of your feet together. If you want to make this pose less intense, you can slide your feet further away from you. Don't force your knees down here and don't worry about how the pose looks. We're just focusing on how it feels. Hands might come to hold your shins or your feet, and then you can start to fold forward. Drop your head towards the mat if that feels good. You might be starting to feel this pose within your groin and around your lower back. So just take some time to anchor your awareness into those sensations. Find your breath. You don't have to force your breath or do any sort of special breathing exercise. Just notice yourself breathing in and notice yourself breathing out. We'll be here for 3 minutes in total. Just letting gravity and your breath do all the work here, helping to dissolve tension from your hips and your lower back. If your shoulders and head start to feel heavy, you can always bring your elbows to your legs, make a little hammock for your head to rest in from your hands. We're here for about 1 more minute. If you find yourself thinking, forgive yourself. And then come back to the sensation within your body and come back to observing your breath as best you can. When you're ready to release the pose, you can very slowly come back to a seat. And once you're there, just sit with your spine straight for a moment. And feel all of that energy within your lower body. Now you can release the pose by leaning back on your hands. Have your feet hip width distance apart And then drop your knees slowly from side to side. And if it feels good just to pause and be still, please feel free to do that. You can make your way into your next pose now, which is Sphinx pose. So come on down to lie on the front of your body. Forearms are on the mat in front of you. Elbows are either underneath the shoulders or in front of them. And this time, to make the pose less intense, you can slide your elbows further away from you. And take a moment to wiggle and jiggle and get comfortable. And then commit to stillness here in Sphinx pose for the next 3 minutes. You can be looking straight out ahead, or you can drop your gaze down towards the earth. Connect to your breath, maybe noticing how it feels different in your body now. Find all of these new sensations still within your lower back, but this pose has a very different feeling within your back. Sphinx pose provides a nice compression for your lower back, which can help to alleviate any tension. Doing this pose is similar to closing a hose pipe that's running. You kink it and it stops the water from flowing through. But then when you open the hose again, there's a big gush of water. And that's what will happen when we release the pose. You'll have a big gush of fresh energy into your lower back. Now you can release Sphinx pose, slowly coming down onto your belly. Stack your hands on top of each other and rest your forehead onto your hands. Big toes come together and your heels drop towards the edges of your mat for crocodile pose. Now feeling that gush of energy all throughout your back. We'll just let Sphinx pose echo in the body for the next minute. Now you can start to pick yourself back up into a seat on your mat. And when you are there, you can set yourself up for child's pose. Because we're targeting our back, you might keep your knees together, but if you do need to take them a little bit wider apart, that's okay. And then your forehead comes down towards the mat. If it doesn't make it, you can rest your forehead onto your hands. And if you're not using your hands, they can come to rest next to your feet with your palms facing up. Here in child's pose, you're getting a really nice stretch into the entire length of your spine, also helping to release any tight lower back muscles. So find some sensations which will help to keep your mind anchored to your body. Find your breath. We'll stay here for 3 minutes, just allowing your entire awareness to drop deeper and deeper into this pose. Before we move on from child's pose, take a moment to loosen up your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Soften your neck. And take a few more quiet breaths here. Fingertips can come back to the mat and slowly bring yourself back up into a seated position, whatever works best for you. And then maybe closing your eyes and just feeling the effects of child's pose on your body. We'll release the poses we've practiced so far with some cat and cow. So you can come to all fours, spreading your fingers wide, keeping your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Inhale to point your tailbone up, drop your belly, bring your chest forward and look up. Slowly exhaling to point your tailbone down, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and drop your head. And you can keep going, either following your breath, inhaling up to cow, exhaling down to cat, or you can just stay for a few breaths in each shape. And when you're ready, come back into a neutral spine. Bring your hips over towards the right and look back over your right shoulder, creating a C shape in your spine and getting a nice lateral stretch into it. And then hips can come to the left, look back over your left shoulder. You might repeat those movements a few more times. And it can also feel nice to come into cow pose, or cat pose rather, rounding your spine and then doing the same thing. And once you feel satisfied, you can come to sit on the mat. This time having your legs in front of you. We'll set ourselves up for our next pose, which is a shoelace twist and bend. So getting a really nice gentle twist into your spine and then another nice lateral spinal stretch. So to begin, you can bring your right foot to the outside of your left hip. This is option 1. To go a little bit deeper, you can also bend your left knee so your left foot is beside your right hip. Not sitting on the feet here and making sure you can feel your seat bones against the mat. We'll give ourselves a few breaths here just to settle into the pose. Now to come into that spinal twist, you can bring your right hand behind you and then straighten out your left arm and hook it to this top knee. Inhale to lengthen your spine and then very gradually start to rotate towards the right. So maybe you're looking back over your right shoulder. We'll be here for a full minute, so there's no need to push or force or go too deep. This is a pose in which you can overdo it a little bit, so just be really mindful. Only twist as far as you can feel that first stretching sensation. Stay there for a little while, and then if your body invites you to go a little bit further, then you can twist a little bit more. Now you can start to make your way back to center. Keep your legs as they are and just feel your spinal sensations for a breath or two. Now we'll come into that lateral side bend by having the right hand down to the right and the left arm reaches across the body. Keep both of your seat bones pressing down, especially that left seat bone. And just start to feel this stretch gradually throughout the side of your body. Again, no need to go too deep too soon. Just seeking out one stretching sensation at a time. If your body invites you to go deeper, you might start to push that left hand even further away from you. And now wherever you are, you can start to come back to center. Again, keeping the legs as they are for another moment if you can. Closing your eyes and feeling whatever you feel. Now it's time to undo the legs so you can bring them long in front of you again. Shake them out and maybe circle through your ankles, stretch your toes. We'll repeat on the other side. So now your left foot can come across to the outside of the right hip. Stay here or bring that right foot to the outside of the left hip. And setting yourself up for shoelace, and then just finding a little bit of stillness within the pose. Feeling your awareness sinking down into your hips. And this time we'll gently twist to the left. So the left hand might come in behind you. Right arm hooks to the top knee. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to find that first stretch. You might look back over your left shoulder. You might not. And now you can start to come back to center, pausing. And now your left hand can come to the left and your right arm rainbows across. Both seat bones, especially that right seat bone, stay grounded. Once again, stretching that right arm away if it feels nice to do so. And then wherever you are, you can make your way back, keeping your feet as they are and just feeling all the effects of those spinal movements. As you're ready, you can unravel your legs. Shaking them off, doing whatever you need to do. You can also do some windshield wipers here if you desire. Now you can come down to lie on the back of your body, slowly rolling your spine onto the mat. And once you're there, bring your knees towards your chest, wrapping your arms around the legs. Feet are beside each other here, don't cross your ankles. And just gently hug yourself. Stretching and releasing your lower back. And now you can stretch your body long on the mat, so legs can come long, feet are wide apart, arms take up lots of space, palms are facing up. If this feels uncomfortable for your spine, you can have your knees bent and then rest your knees against each other. And just feel everything falling into place now against the hard floor. Feel all of this calming energy that's circulating through your body. Feel your body starting to get heavy, starting to unfurl and relax. Notice your breath innately coming in and out of your body. And now you can start to bring a little bit of awareness and movement back into your body. If you enjoyed this routine, make sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of bedtime yin yoga classes, and I'd love to practice with you again in the future. But if you're ready to come out of corpse pose, you can bring yourself back up into a seat. Thank you so much for joining me. Comments and questions are welcome below. I will see you again soon in another practice, but until then, take good care of yourself. Good night and goodbye.